If you've seen the clips today, then this is the full breakdown. Tonight we're breaking down the manager situation, the reality of what the transfers are going to happen in January, and the obvious power struggle happening within inside Manchester United. This is United Daily by Red Devils Digest. Okay, so let's start off with the manager situation. Like I said, anyone that's seen the clips before, Jason Wilcox is now leading pretty much all football decisions. I previously reported, I'll go over it quickly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager of Manchester United. Personal terms were agreed, everything was agreed. Omar Barada and I think his name's Christian Vival were all signed off on it. Jason Wilcox had a feeling about Michael Carrick. This might be true, as in it might work out correctly because maybe Carrick is probably more the man. I don't know. Ollie is more like a passion thing. And someone spoke to him in his ear. That someone being Ferguson, Sir Alex. I'd love to hear from people below. Should Sir Alex Ferguson really be the one to say to Omar Barada that Jason Wilcox is right and he basically vouched for Carrick? He has no formal power in the club anymore, but he is obviously the gaffer. That everyone calls him the gaffer. He vouched for Carrick, and things quickly turned. The delay on the situation, the delay on the announcement was they were so focused on Solskjaer that they'd already agreed personal terms with Solskjaer. It was 50, 60 grand a week plus a 3-4 million bonus if you got them in the Champions League. They hadn't agreed anything with Carrick, so they had to bring Carrick back in, or his people back in, to agree that. But Ferguson still is unbelievably influential within United, and I think there's a few people. I think Roy Keane mentioned it the other day. There's a few people kind of saying that maybe that shouldn't be that way, or if it is going to be that way, maybe you can tell them that we have to play a certain way, like fast attacking football. Anyway, developing story today that I'm sure you'll have seen other YouTubers talk about it. Bruno's future is very uncertain. He's very frustrated. If any of you read the papers, you know he was out with the assistant manager yesterday. Their United players are back in tomorrow. They had 2 days off, which is odd considering we lost and now we're playing City. Anyway, he had 2 days off. He spent one of his days off with Ruben Amorim's assistant coach. He's not happy. He turned down obviously big money last year. He really wants to win things, and I know for some reason Bruno divides people in this fan base. But to be honest, like, where would you be without him? Rashford return is now totally unlikely. Everyone knows Barcelona want him. Rashford, there is apparently going to be no problem on wages. Rashford is very happy at Barcelona. There was a mindset that maybe if Ollie or Michael, that basically, in essence, what we've done is we've designed a team, and whoever comes in, most people don't play this Ruben Amorim system, and you need pace and speed. And if you would say, look at it last year, this isn't me telling you that we sold the wrong players, but you know, Garnacho and Rashford gone. We don't actually we have 4 number 10s. We have no actual wingers. So it's very hard for now someone to come in and adapt. There's going to be very little money spent in January, if anything. I still think, and anyone that's watched this channel from the beginning, which granted it's only 2 weeks old now, will know one of the first clips I ever did was Ruben Neves at £15 million, I think 20 million euros, something. Because I just think he's a great squad player, even if the next manager is not sure about him. It's not massive money. The power, so the squad reset is expected in the next window. How mad is it that we are now on? Ten Hag had a reset. We've now done a full-blown reset for Amorim, and now whoever comes in, chances are he's going to play a 4-3-3, or maybe a 4-2-3-1. We're going to reset again. So half the players that have come in, moved their lives, settled, will, in essence, not play for United. Not because they necessarily weren't good enough, just because they now don't fit a new manager's regime, which is, I know, the ups and downs of football, but it's not great. There's a huge power shift behind the scenes, and it's very, very, very split. And it goes all the way back, and your people are probably turned off because they keep hearing me harp on about the Dan Ashworth thing. That's when it started. The shift started in August of 2024. Dan Ashworth was very against Ruben Amorim. He didn't believe it would work. He said that the transfers would cost too much money to rebuild the squad, and it would take too long, and we'd miss out on European football. How right he is. Just to clarify, Omar Barada has never been a CEO, and he's now at the biggest football club in the world. And if you're not a United fan, then you'll say we're the second biggest behind Madrid. We are still unbelievably big. Jason Wilcox had 9 months at Southampton and has openly said in a podcast last week how he believes he should be a manager. Wow. And there's this real divide between Jason Wilcox and whoever he can pull to his side, and Vival and Barada. Now, Barada is the CEO, but Jason Wilcox is winning all the battles. And it's really important to know that. Recruitment and stuff. Fabrizio Romano's announced literally 30 minutes ago that United will be speaking to De Zerbi and Thomas Tuchel again in the summer. United spoke to Tuchel. Tuchel turned United down. Don't hear what you read or what you see. Tuchel turned United down. Tuchel wants full control. He's not going to have Willie Wilcox in his ear telling him what to do. That's not Tuchel's game. They'll throw him off a bridge. And to be perfectly honest, I might give him a hand. So, could we see Old Trafford moving away from manager-led control? We need to move into a manager-led control, because the top guys run their football clubs. I'm not talking about you don't have recruitment and you don't have a technical director, you don't have a sporting director. But the way United being run right now is Jason Wilcox buys players. He decides formations. He decides too much. He should decide to walk into a cupboard and get his wife to lock him in the cupboard for the next 6 months. See if we can get into a Champions League. There's too many voices at Manchester United, too many past influences, and I know that's crazy because we're a club that's steeped in DNA with the history of everything we do and what we want and everything. But if I'm going to sum it up just before I end this video, you want to know what's wrong with Manchester United today. Michael Carrick hasn't picked Steve Holland. He's picked Jonathan Woodgate. He hasn't gone and picked Steve Holland, which is Gareth Southgate's right-hand man. And Gareth Southgate is very, very close to Ineos. And that in itself is unbelievably dangerous, because Gareth Southgate will ruin Manchester United. You can clip this. I don't get enough views for you to clip it, but we did get over 28,000 this week, which is big. And that, from what I'm hearing inside, is the reason Steve Holland is there. He needs to see what things are like, what things are up to, and look out for things. The thought of it makes me want to cry. It really does. Anyway, what I like to do, if any of you are new, what I basically do is I post loads of shorts throughout the day. I'm keeping updates. On a Monday, I do a match review and player ratings. Tuesday and Wednesdays, we do something called United Daily, which is basically just short updates of all those clips you see on all the social medias. I just try and wrap it together so you can spend 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes watching one thing and get all the answers you want. And then obviously Thursday, Friday, we switch to previews. We start talking about this week, it will be City. We'll start talking about City and City, no. And then Arsenal. And then over the weekend, we'll do player reactions like the usual channels do, but during the week we like to do it quite differently. So all we do is cover United. We're very simple. If you follow us, you'll see all the clips. They look, well, they're just basic clips. Half the time I'm working. And then we kind of round it up with this United daily update. So you watch one video and you're all up to date with everything that's important. I don't post every single clickbait thing that comes out. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to say thank you massively for the support. 28,000 views this week alone is like just mind blowing. It is on the shorts because the shorts are what drive the stuff. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow.